If all you have ever done is just text her, then it may be a good idea to call her from time to time so that you stick out. If there are all these other people that are interested in her and are constantly texting her, then you will stand out if you actually call her from time to time, if you mix it up, so that you're not just only texting her all the time. That could actually set you apart from all these other people who are just texting her. So that's something to think about. But clearly you are feeling like, okay, I may not stand much of a chance with this girl because she has all these other people who are interested in her, who are texting her as well. So is it even worth my time to keep texting her? Well, here's the thing. If she's not in a relationship and she has responded positively to all your text messages, then it's probably time for you to ask her out. There's a good chance that all these people who are texting her haven't done that. All they're doing is just hoping that, at some point, maybe she will either do the asking, or perhaps they're just waiting for that perfect moment so that they feel like, okay, I'm going to text her and ask her out now. Well, you can get ahead of that by just asking her out. Again, if she's single, and you know she's single, she's available, she's been positive in her responses as far as the texting. Whenever you've texted her in the past, she's responded. The both of you have had good conversations. And again, you know she's single and she's available, then this is probably the time. This is probably the time for you to just ask her out. Because clearly you've reached the point where you're thinking, well, I feel like I've texted her enough, and yet I don't feel like I'm really getting anywhere as far as where I'd want to go with her or where I'd like to get to with her. So should I text her less? Should I not text her at all? After all, there are all these other people that are interested in her who are texting her as well. Well, maybe that's an indication to you now. Maybe your body language or your mind is trying to tell you now that, hey, it's time to stop texting. It's time to actually take that next step and ask her out. She actually may be waiting for that. It's unlikely she's going to ask you out. So she actually may have been responding to all your text messages all this time, for however long you've been interacting with her or communicating with her, in the hopes that at some point you're going to ask her out. And you are yet to do so. Instead, you're worrying about all these other people that are texting her, and you're getting frustrated that all the texts you've been sending her haven't led to her coming out and saying, hey, I really, really like you. You want to go out with me? Well, that's not normally how it works. So this may be time. It may be time for you to take that next step and ask her out. So that's something to think about as well, right? So think about the advantage of you actually calling her from time to time and setting yourself apart from all these other people who only text her. And also the possibility that you've reached the point where it's time to actually ask her out. And perhaps that's what she's been waiting for. Because at the end of the day, she doesn't really know where you're coming from. So she's going to entertain all these texts from all these other people who are interested in her because she doesn't know where you're coming from. So she's not going to make an assumption that, I think he likes me, so guess what? I'm not going to text back. I'm not going to text all these other people who are texting me. I'm not going to bother texting them back. Well, no. She doesn't know where you're coming from because you haven't let it be known. You've hid behind your texts and hoping that somehow she would give you some magic go-ahead, and that hasn't happened, and now you're getting frustrated. Well, she doesn't know where you're coming from. So she's going to entertain texts from other people who are interested in her. And here's the danger of all of this is that if you wait too long, if you keep this going, one of those individuals at some point who's texting her is probably going to ask her out. Whether it's via text or via whatever medium, they're going to ask her out. And you know what she's going to say? She just might say yes. She just might say yes because she's thinking, well, this person had the courage to ask me out. Nobody else has. So fine, I'll go on a date with this person and see how things go. And if you discover this, that, oh my goodness, somebody asked her out and she said yes, now you're going to become even more upset. But at the end of the day, can you blame her? If you didn't make that move, can you blame her? So it's probably time that you asked her out.